Welcome to ECN Trade Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you very much for joining me. Overnight, the Australian dollar lost ground after failing to sustain renewed gains towards the highs of 80.43. With the initial rejection, the market posted a low of 79.70 and taking out that 80-cent handle. With further weakness seen from the technical implications, I expect to see the challenge towards either of 79.50 or even lower to 78.60.70. Now also the moving average, which is a 60-day moving average, comes in around 78.60. It is viewed that hedge funds will most probably start selling if we see a break beneath there. But at this stage, may well respect, because the fact is I'm anticipating bids to start forming in front of that level around 60.70 on 78 and could see a rebound. Any advances would find resistance on the day at 80.20. Now today we have the release of China and Australia's figures, and today with Australia first of all to look for the unemployment coming out at around 5.6%, with additional jobs to be released around 17,500. Also to note that China will release its industrial production forecast at 6.6, along with fixed assets investments around 8.2 and retail sales at 10.5. Now these figures can shake the Australian dollar, and if we do see some initial impact, then we could see the weakness drive through 79.50 and lower. Well, with the dollar index clearing that 92.30.40 resistance and now exposing 93.40.60, the target of 117.60.80 has become much clearer since the price action took out the uptrend at 119.10. What initially triggered the move was the fact that the announcement that Donald Trump's reform tax plan could be released now on September the 25th. Also tonight we have the US CPI for August. If we see an improvement of 0.3%, currently last at 0.1, then we could see some conversations coming around the markets that the Fed could be looking for another hike. And if that's the case, we could see the third one eventually emerge. So keep an eye on tonight's figures at 10:30 Sydney time. Overall, I expect to see the US dollar to gain further momentum and euro to weaken. Now, Donnie Yen overnight didn't actually recover further on the back of a firmer US dollar, and still a little bit hesitant around this 110.65 level after printing that high this morning. If this pattern continues and we start all of a sudden getting some spook stories about North Korea and US, this could bring the tension back again and see the market drop back towards 109.75. So trading from a long side, do be a little bit cautious. However, a break above 65 will give scope up towards 111.45, but I'm not overly confident on that move. Sterling, well, initially the recent gains from the CPI number that came out earlier on Tuesday, slightly upbeat, has now turned it around with the unemployment rate coming in a pip lower at 4.3. And also the average earnings missing its forecast of 2.3, that came in at analysed at 2.1. Although the CPI was a little bit upbeat, the Bank of England will most likely talk the story down and try and keep away from any kind of talk of rate hikes. So do be a little bit cautious, as 131.80 is the key to the next downside target of 130.60. While intact, we could easily see a slight recovery, so do be a little bit cautious and don't get overly bearish on the pound as of yet. We are now challenging this level of gold at 1,319.20. I anticipate this level to give way, purely for the fact is that the technicals are breaking down, and now also with silver too breaking down, does suggest that we could see a move towards 1,308 as a potential target. Towards this region, I anticipate the bids to start firming up, and if that's the case, we could see a rebound from that level back towards 29 to 36 to 42. So don't get too negative from the break of this trend, and see how it plays out in the next 12 to 24 hours. And to wrap up, we've got oil. I've actually extended my view from $50 up towards $52 a barrel, purely for the fact is that the technicals are still coasting to the bullish case, with support seen at 49.10.25. So that wraps up my daily video. Thank you very much for joining me this morning, and I hope you have a wonderful day that's ahead of you.